Um, I will now try and show you the examples I have of the cyberwall. A cyberwall means that by various cybercrime, all your communication options are controlled and all your attempts to reach courts or authorities that could help you are blocked. This happens with courier letters, it happens with your in courier systems. My cyber killer hacks into the systems, and then at my expense he has my appeals forwarded to his own address in Amsterdam. He is stalking my emails and my Wi-Fi. Faxes are intercepted to courts because they go through Wi-Fi. Phone calls are broken off with Netherlands instances, are monitored always because he is tapping your emails. He has hacked himself into all your devices. So not only is your access to courts fully blocked, also files that incriminate him and that can prove your point are intercepted. No, are removed. He has removed more than 1,500 emails from the server Hotmail. He has removed more than 1,000 emails from the Gmail server. He also removed paid email accounts completely, and you cannot terminate them while you still have to pay because you have to terminate your subscription in the account, and the account is gone. I had many paid fax subscriptions, and because you pay, they will preserve your entire fax history, which contains proof that you may need, and it contains incriminating evidence. So he will completely remove your fax your fax page with all the history that you paid a lot of money for, and he will steal whatever is left in your account and block you from getting another account or contacting customer service. So that's what also happens, the theft, and if you are a victim of cybercrime in court and state computers, the problem is you cannot prove anything because even if you hire cyber experts, they have no access to official systems where the digital traces and the proof are. And that is detrimental because court personnel knows absolutely nothing about cybercrime. They don't want to be bothered with things that are difficult, so they don't want to try and study what you're trying to say, and they will typically reject your entire request and claim it's unintelligible because they are used to getting expert reports, so they can just go by these reports, but you cannot give them. So it is really a big problem that is, as far as I can see, not solvable, at least not on time by me. And I will give you a few examples. First, couriered letters. This letter was couriered to the court in Breda, that's in the south, a city in the south of the Netherlands. Here you see the consignment note. I hope you can read it. This is the BREDA, Court Breda, is Rechtbank Breda, is a court. You get a very detailed trajectory, which is good, interesting, and then you get the details of the delivery. My letter to the city of Breda, the court of Breda in the south, was delivered in Amsterdam, in the north, where my killer happens to live. And it was signed for by Rechtbank Breda. They mean Breda because it is written by English people, these entries. So Court Breda. It didn't arrive in Court Breda, but it was signed for by Court Breda because in Netherlands that's all we get. We don't get a detailed route like this one. Now you have to ask yourself, how many people in the world would accept a letter to a court, involve themselves in a court case they have nothing to do with, and sign for the letter under alias of a court. 0 people in the world would do that. The only person who would do that is the person who didn't want my letter to arrive in the court because he wants his deadly measures to prevail. And that person happens to live in Amsterdam, Netherlands. Here you have an example with a letter to the European Court of Human Rights. I made lots of complaints and lots of noise about that crime in the courier system, and he wised up to the complaints and tampered with the entries in the system of the courier. I no longer get details on the delivery. I sent more, trying to prevent the forwarding at my expense by putting stickers on the outside of the envelope. Didn't help. Then I tried to send a letter that I have in total dispatched 10 times. It was intercepted 10 times to the European Court of Human Rights. I only got a partial survey because it starts in Mulhouse, France. It doesn't give any details on the delivery or why it failed, and then it goes back to Auckland, New Zealand. You see that here. It arrives in Auckland, and then it goes back to Australia, and then it goes back to Auckland. So I didn't understand this and asked the HL if they could explain to me what happened to my shipment, but I never got a reply. Here are a number of the 10 other attempts I made to reach the European Court of Human Rights. They were all intercepted. As you can see, I no longer even get trajectories. I only get nondescript statements. This is email. I send a letter to the Mr. Peters, the Deputy Prime Minister, also about the cybercrime in the courier systems, and I got the message that the delivery was incomplete. I find that hard to believe because, as far as I know, emails arrive and are dispatched in a split second. So how can you cut them up? But okay. And then I got a reply from the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, that was clearly written not by him but by my killer. I used to be a fan of the of Mr. Peters, and I know a bit about his style, and it was typically my killer style. So here you see how I am blocked from downloading the application form to file an appeal with the European Court of Human Rights, so I can no longer send appeals. And here you see examples of control over my Wi-Fi doings. I get so many errors, more than 25 examples, so I can't show them all. But what I can show is what happened to my best VPN that is paid for. It tells me that they can no longer guarantee a safe connection because my internet traffic appears to be intercepted. Then they give a number of codes that I do not understand, but I click trust to see what happened, and what happened is that I get into a loop. I can no longer use it at all because I need to sign in, and then I need to sign in, and I need to sign in, I need to sign in. So this is basically disabled. I used another VPN. You see that here. It's always connected to an American server. Here you see the American stock market. You see the typically American stuff here as well. American airplane, American article. But one article is in Dutch. And that means that I'm being stalked via the VPN server. That's what it means. So these are examples of the Cyberwall that are the reason that I cannot reach anyone. And that is understandable because my Dutch cyber killer uses his counterfeit decisions and counterfeit verdicts. They are his murder weapons. So the last thing, he wants to kill you. The last thing he wants is that somebody prevents the murder. And in order to prevent that somebody does some justice and spoils his fun, or that somebody gets to know about what he's all doing behind everybody's back, he has to block my communications and appeals. Now, this is a big problem because, first of all, you write an appeal in hopes that the problem that you are appealing gets remedied. That never happens because it doesn't arrive in a real court. It arrives with the person whose crimes you are appealing against. So he counterfeits a document to reject your appeal, to cement the deadly measures, because he wants to kill. Also, so you don't get your stuff repaired. Also, he's not objective. He has a purpose. He wants to kill. So if he reads your appeal, if he reads your attempt to save your life, he gets into a murderous rage. It always happens. Without one exception, he has no impulse control whatsoever, and he starts retaliating as much as he can with more counterfeit, deadly decisions that you can appeal, but it will cost you a lot of money, and it will lead to more retaliations, on and on and on and on until you're dead enough. And the third detriment of this entire criminal enterprise is that he will fix the files to undercut your arguments. If you have a life-saving argument, he adds a backdated counterfeit document to the file. He adds complete proceedings to the file. He adds backdated counterfeit requests or appeals to the file. He also does my alias. He writes my appeals that I never filed, if it suits his murderous needs. He undercuts everything you're trying to do to save your life because he wants to kill. That is always his goal. And all these fixed files and all these documents are his murder weapons. So this is what I have about the Cyberwall. And even though proper software could prevent his crimes in court computers and would disable any fruits of these crimes, there's nobody who moves a limb for the past 10 years. Nobody does anything against it. Maybe because it's a touchy subject, I don't know. But with modern AI and cyber developments, court proceedings could be more safe than ever before. In fact, they are made completely impossible. And these computer systems, the digital systems, are basically a paradise for any crime, for criminals, for murderers, for terrorists, for racist people. They are paradise, paradise, paradise. They can steal what they want, they can murder who they want, they can torture who they want. If they have a little bit of legal knowledge, doesn't even have to be much. If they can make copies, they can do what they like. That's just how it is.